Local Link Mayo was set up in 2013. We provide community and public transport funded by the HSE and the National Transport Authority. In response to Covid-19, we have changed the way we operate. We have amalgamated services because the reduction in passenger numbers due to social distancing, but we've also changed to provide a collect and delivery service for essential goods and supplies, and that's been taken up across the county, and we're working with community groups and organisations at a local level to ensure that anybody who needs goods delivered, that we can work with them to ensure that they receive their goods. We've been working with Achill Tourism. So the Achill Tourism community have set up a local coordination centre. They've been taking the shopping orders, they've been working with local shops and businesses to prepare the orders for the different residents on the island, and then the Local Link bus driver comes along and collects the goods and delivers them to the various households around the island, and it's working very well. We're doing similar things, for example, in the Ballinrobe area. We're working with TACU, the Family Resource Centre there, to ensure that anybody who needs goods gets their deliveries on a weekly basis. I'd like to acknowledge the support from our funders, the National Transport Authority and the HSE, to enable us to respond in a coordinated way in County Mayo. I'd like to encourage people to, feel free to use the service. And also I'd like to encourage people to, if they have any questions or concerns, to give us a call at 094 900 5150, or alternatively they can call the COVID helpline at Mayo County Council.
This morning we started off over in Westport. We did our chemist and the supermarkets in Westport, and then we came into Achill Island and did the shops and the post office and the butchers and that in Achill Island. Now we have already done a couple of drops. We're over now in Glencoe. We're going over to Curragh now and up to Turnrigee and all around that area, and the other bus that was with us this morning is gone to the other end of the island. And we set up this system, Achill Tourism and other groups of people came in on board, and now we have a brilliant system where people know exactly what's going to happen. They ring in the day before and they know that all the different shops we go to, that we'll pick up their shopping or anything else they want, the chemist or whatever it is, and it'll be dropped at a specific time on the Tuesday or the Saturday in this area, and different days in other areas And it was no big thing to us, because we had the structure was already there. We knew the people, we knew the routes, we knew all the houses in all the areas. The drivers were doing it for so long, we didn't have to be waiting for people to ring us up
We have a population here in Achill of about 2,500, and most of that population is an elderly population, and it's very important that we look after the elderly population here in the parish. As you are aware, our diaspora that's away and works away from the island, their mothers and fathers are here, and unfortunately they cannot come to visit them under their present circumstances. So the service that's been provided is unbelievable, and I would just like to pay a special tribute and thank Achill Tourism and Local Link for the magnificent job that they're doing.
I phoned a woman in Super Value, and she takes my order and she has it ready for Michael to pick up on Saturday. He picked it up with himself or his crew. I could get it twice a week if I want, but once will do me. And a smashing service, I hope it will continue.
So we just actually turned this whole office up on its head, and we became a response centre for the volunteers on the island. When the government implemented the next lockdown, we had formed a partnership with Local Link, and they were able to step in, and instead of people having to come and do the shopping, and it eased the volunteers, what's happening now is Achill Tourism takes shopping lists from people. So basically anybody can ring in. They will tell the staff where they want you to shop, and we're in partnership with all the businesses in Achill, so we're not just going to one particular shop. So what happens is the shopping order is taken by the staff, and on the Tuesday, Friday, Saturday, the bus service goes around to the whole community of Achill, so there's nobody excluded.
bring the bus at about 11:30, 12 o'clock, whatever time everything is ready, and we load up and we bring it to not only to our normal passengers but to anybody else who's ringing in now during this crisis, because there's a lot of people stuck in the houses. They might normally use the bus as a passenger, but now they're getting a chance to use the Local Link as a delivery service.
To help the community and help ourselves, we're cocooning at the moment. So this service that we're receiving is terrific, and we're using it twice a week, and we're very, very appreciative of it. This may go on for a while yet, but we're fine with that. If we can keep getting help like this, we're fine. We can hold up for another 6 months. It won't bother us psychologically, it won't bother us at all.
From a community perspective, I feel that Local Link is one of the most important initiatives that has taken place in the country in the past 10 years. And especially in the crisis that's here today, it has shown how a community can be brought together and transport can become the glue for that community. And it makes living in a remote area feasible and possible, and it gives a bond to the community to help each other and come back to the collective and ignore the emphasis we had on the individual.
Lewisburg Meals and Wheels has been in operation since 1988, delivering freshly prepared and hot and nutritious meals to the local community. The lunch club that we would normally run 4 days a week, we've had to disband. The craft club has also had to be temporarily suspended. This has meant an increased demand for deliveries to the home of people requiring meals. Local Link over the years have provided funding for our vehicle here. And as I mentioned before, this allows us to bring clients in. So we're funded 2 days a week. And this supplies much needed funds to keep our vehicle on the road, as the insurance costs these days are fairly steep. And obviously we have to put fuel in the vehicles.
We, the Gardaí, have always been part of the community here in Westport and in Mayo in general. And during this Covid-19 pandemic, we feel the community want us to be visible, want us to be out there and want to engage with us. An example of the community engaging with us is our partnership with Local Link. Local Link and the Gardaí have always worked very well together, and here in Westport we're very familiar with the Local Link operators. They bring to our attention from time to time within the community persons who might be vulnerable or maybe isolated. Local Link operator service maybe 1 or 2 days a week in most communities, and they've identified people and brought to our attention because we're there 24/7. And we work very well together. Finally, I'd just like to remind people that we, the Gardaí, are here to help in any way we can, and don't hesitate to contact any Garda station or any Garda you may know, and whatever help you require, the Guards will be there to assist in that.
We provide a service to the elderly and the vulnerable, and as we say is, you don't have to be elderly to be vulnerable. And there's a lot of isolated areas in our district here. We cover from Kimbay out to the back of Delphi, which is nearly in County Galway for us. And we go and see them. Prior to going there, we'd ring them up or we'd send them an email to say that in the next couple of days we'll be touching base with them. And they'll ask us to do various different things for them. Maybe go and collect some prescriptions. They might have telephoned their prescription into the pharmacist, and they give us authority to go and collect it for them, and we'd make arrangements to deliver it out to them.
Michael has been bringing people into the store here for years, coming in here every weekend. But once the COVID crisis happened, there was an issue how he was going to get the shopping to our regular customers. Michael is here every Tuesday and Friday and Saturday, collecting for Kilmina, Newport, Achill, Mulranny, etc. So it really is a great service. It's really making sure that our local customers are being looked after in this awful time that we're going through. So what happens when a customer wants an order, they phone Fiona. Fiona takes their order from them. Then the order is processed and brought down to Helena, who you've seen going around doing the shopping. Helena processes the order through the till, gives the customer a ring back. We organise payment through it. And Michael then picks up the order later on in the afternoon and it's delivered to the customer. We're delighted in Super Value in Westport to be able to provide this service. Working alongside Michael O'Hare and his team has absolutely been a fantastic combination from the word go. And we feel that we're looking after our customers very well and get them their shopping weekly. And I think everybody is happy with it.
At the very beginning of this, we put up my personal number on our Facebook page. So people started phoning in with queries, and we can't get through to the store, but we want to know this. Do you have flour in? A big question. And all different things. And then people started saying, oh, can we put an order through you? Or we've put in an online order and it's for, 3 weeks away. Is there any way you can, do it earlier? So it started with any queries at all, any questions. We'd have a bit of the crack. People out there, they've still got a great sense of humour. I had a marriage proposal. He was 80, but hey-ho. In a time where we're meant to be social distancing, it's wonderful to hear a voice at the end of a line that can say, listen, it's going to be grand, we're going to help you out.
Absolutely phenomenal response at a very extraordinary time across Mayo. I think when you speak to older people, they can't recall a time like this, but community has come to the fore, and Local Link and all of the community organisations across the county have readapted themselves to give services to people who are cocooning or who can't travel out. And without that services, and for many people without that contact, this would have been a completely different experience. It's a very difficult time for the county, but the metal that characterises Mayo is shining through, and what we're seeing is the services that are being provided by people such as Local Link, by our local community development organisations, our partnership companies, our resident associations, over 55 clubs. That's standing into a gap, and that's providing people with services, but often, more importantly, with contact at this time.
The whole COVID-19 crisis has utterly changed the way in which we do business in the local authority, as everywhere else in the county, obviously. We've had to rearrange all of our services. All of our offices are open, they're manned on a daily basis. All of our post is looked after, our phones are being answered, but most of that is being done remotely. So as part of that, we were tasked by government with setting up a community response forum, which includes, in our case, some 30 agencies and voluntary organisations from around the county and around the country. And we have a helpline which runs 8 to 8, 7 days a week, and we're responding to community needs that come in on that helpline. I think if we had a message for people, it's obviously stay safe and stay strong and stay connected. I think the whole Mayo Day exercise back in May was just a demonstration of the power of linking up community, and whether that's linking up digitally or, in the case of Local Link, linking physically. Linkage is really important. I think we have learned lessons about the value of local and community effort over the last 3 months. I think those lessons will continue into the future. Certainly the forum will be continuing into the future, and I think Local Link, having demonstrated its absolute vital role over the past 3 months, will be with us for a very long time to come in a more enhanced role.
For the past 12 years we've been working for Local Link Transportation. This involves dialysis transportation, rehab and National Learning Network transportation, and also we do Local Link shoppers from the Castlebar area and from the Swinford area as well. But unfortunately the way things have changed recently, we're having to stay with them and they're just doing their essential shopping, and then we're taking them straight back home. So this morning on dialysis in the Swinford area, we picked the gentleman up and we took him into Mayo General Hospital for the dialysis treatment, and we've already returned him back home. So now at lunchtime we're going to go to Colassa to start with and pick up 3 elderly people who need to come in and get their essentials, their shopping. So that's what we're going to go ahead and do now and return them home.
Colassa is one of the largest rural parishes in Ireland. Some people believe it's actually the second largest rural parish in Ireland. And the population within it do rely on neighbours and friends to bring some of the elderly population to town or to mass or to other social events. What some of us in the parish decided just after Christmas was to engage with Local Link Mayo and invite them to the parish to participate in a meeting and to establish from Sarah and her team what services could be provided to the parish. It's great that we have Local Link to provide a fallback in these circumstances, and I know it's greatly appreciated. And also, hopefully, we're looking to pilot a community car within the parish for the use of the parishioners. It might be coming for people coming to Mass on a Sunday or on a Sunday evening, or a Saturday evening, or it might be to drop them to the local pub up here the road, or just into town, or to carry out a medical appointment. So I suppose in conclusion, if it wasn't for Local Link and obviously the community spirit in the parish, I believe that a lot of the vulnerable people here in Calassar would be at a major disadvantage.
Local Link Mayo is a vital service, especially in the rural parts of Mayo. I suppose you have to look at the whole picture here to see just how vital a service that it is. In all of the small towns, in the rural areas, in the larger towns throughout this great county. And they provide a service weekly in all of these places, be it to bring people out from their homes, out to go shopping, be it for them to bring them to appointments, be it to bring them to renal dialysis, be it to bring them to training centres. Local Link are the people on the ground. They're the practical side of the community response in County Mayo. There have been thousands of trips done since the COVID pandemic started here in County Mayo for people delivering shopping. They've been delivering prescriptions to people. It's targeted at the elderly and the vulnerable in our community. It's such a vital source, and I can see this thing in the county getting bigger and bigger as time goes by.
Usually we would have a really active and busy community centre open to the public. We'd have lots of activities going on. We have a sports hall, we have squash, we have a gym, we have meeting rooms, we have bingo. These are all the lovely things we used to have. We'd have a whist club, a music club, and then we would have our Meals on Wheels services and a community bus service. So the community bus, which usually would have been used for passengers and would have brought people to do their shopping, would have brought them to all the different activities in our community centre and in other centres around the area, has now been utilised and changed to a delivery service. So now we're very conscious of limiting footfall so that the food that's reaching people is really safe for everybody. So there's lots of PPE equipment. Our delivery drivers change their gloves after every house that they attend. So we're working very closely with Local Link. They've been a really good support to us. They have been providing us with some PPE equipment. We're actually having some hand sanitizer delivered today from them. So they've been keeping in touch, keeping us informed with all the regulations. We've had some Zoom calls with them. So they're really good in the current situation with supporting us. I'd just really like to commend our staff and the really amazing work that they're doing presently. You know, people are talking about hidden heroes. Well, we have some in behind here in our closed doors for the community centre. They're sending out over 150 meals a week into Killala and the surrounding area. They're doing it.
Most of the people that we bring, and they're delighted to see us coming to get the news of the day from you. They like to know how things is going and is many people sick, and they just get all the local news from you. And you'll always spend a minute or two with every person just to keep in touch with them. Now, they are awful conscious of going out. The older people that are over 70s, that's cocooning, they just don't like leaving their homes, you know. They just walk from their houses to the gate and back up again, and that's more or less it, you know. And we used to do a tour every single month, you know, and we're not doing any tours, and they missed their tours, you know, and they missed going for the meal and for the breakfast and all that type of thing, you know. So it's a big change, you know.
We're spoilt rotten.
The old fella comes round, puts it on.
It's a great service, service.
Yeah.
And we're very, very lucky that we've got it, because I know that other areas haven't got anything like this, you know. And I've got family in the UK, and they're absolutely astounded that we get dinners delivered every day. They can't believe it.
The Local Link has been a positive influence on us. We use it once a week regularly to go shopping, but once a month it takes us anywhere. We've even been up as far as Enniskillen on a shopping spree close to Christmas. And the Local Link is going to be back, we hope.
We hope. We miss the we miss the runs, we miss going out. But hopefully, when all this is finished,
he'll be back
we'll
again.
get back to it all again.
The Community Outreach Initiative is a national response to the coronavirus. It's coordinated by the Wheel and the Irish Rural Link. It's funded by the Department of Rural and Community Affairs. My involvement with Irish Rural Link, we got a donation of a hand sanitizer, and we are using the Local Link services to disseminate, to distribute the consignment throughout the county, and that's through the Meals and Wheels network. Some of them have already received it, today the rest of the consignment has been taken care of. The silver lining of the pandemic is that we will emerge with a better, more coordinated support service, as we have identified the people that are in need, and more importantly, that nobody will be left behind through this crisis.
We are delighted that our drivers are able to get out and, still meet with the passengers and keep in touch with them. We also were delighted last year to be recognised with the National Age Friendly Award in the area of transport, and that's a testament to the fantastic work that the drivers are doing on the ground on an ongoing basis. Our numbers have steadily increased, and we had in excess of 500 deliveries last week, and this is growing, and we can tell by the phone calls to the office that it's going to be required for a long time to come. We're looking forward to being able to work with the groups on a continuous basis to ensure that we can respond to the needs across the county. As the profile of our passengers are primarily elderly, a lot of them have very good relationships with the driver, and for some, the driver might be the main person they see from week to week. I suppose we'd like to assure them that we will be, as soon as we return to normal services, we'll be looking forward to seeing